Good morning. So this is Coffee with Dakota, and I am going to answer all your burning questions because I know you have many. And I just have my new fall cup. I'm really excited because fall is finally just about here. It's September, and over in this little area, every year, this is really cool, every year there is just one splotch of red that will just suddenly appear overnight. And it can be anywhere. It's very random, and it's just one little splotch on one tree. And this year we just saw it 2 days ago over in this direction, and that's usually the indication that fall is upon us. So I'm really excited. I love this time of year. I love that crispness. We're getting ready to go into the alchemist direction for the medicine wheel, and that's really exciting to me because it's that time of gratitude and working with our ancestors and really doing some deep work kind of in taking our internal world to our external world and really making them match. So it's a great time of year. And we're getting ready to do enrollment for the mentorship. So we've been onboarding students all this past week. We did a pre-enrollment, and we're getting ready to roll it out to the public. So be on the lookout for it, because it really is a great time to just kind of clean out and create some sacred space both within and outside of yourself, and to get ready for the north direction, which is that place where we go inward and really work with our guides and stuff. So today's question actually kind of touches on that just a little bit, and this is from Andy, and we have dogs. Andy says, Dakota, I have a question for your Coffee with Dakota sessions and would love to hear your thoughts. In the spiritual communities, we speak about connecting with our past lives. He must be from England. Whilst I love to do that, we don't seem to mention our ancestry. I can't do an English accent, I'm sorry. The reason I mention this is because recently I connected with my ancestors from many generations ago to discover more about their lives. Upon finding out more, it truly resonated with me and enlivened my soul like would never have expected. So much so that it truly resonates with what I do and who I am today. Do you think we should speak more about this in our communities, and why do you believe it's not really spoken about? Thanks, Andy. So yeah, I think that when you get into this kind of metaphysical spiritual world, there is a lot of talk and emphasis about past lives and spirit guides and all these kinds of things, and those are all relevant, but we do often miss that opportunity to heal our ancestral line and to also work with our ancestors and really kind of find why our lineage is the way that it is. So and that's one thing I love about the Druidry and even shamanic practice, really, that there is a lot of emphasis on ancestors and working with them and understanding them and calling them forward. And in Druidry, there are 2 times during the year where the veil is so thin that it's really easy to cross that line, cross over that veil, and work really succinctly with our ancestors. And one is in May during Beltane, and the other one is in October during Samhain. Those are 2 Druid holidays. And that's why when we go into the west direction, this direction that we're about to embark on, we do a lot of ancestry healing because the veil is so thin. And it's not just in October, it's really kind of that whole period, but that time at the end of October, early November during Samhain, the veil is extremely thin. So we do a lot of journeying, we do a lot of just really deep work with that line. My own experience has been really interesting with ancestors in that I really began to call on them a lot more, because as I did my family line, my family history through ancestry.com, I learned that a lot of my great-grandfathers were kings of Ireland. I think it's my 65th great-grandfather founded Scotland. So I have a lot of, which explained a lot of my affinity towards Druidry and Celtic studies and things like that. So as I started to embark on that, I started to realize that I could call on these ancestors to work with their energy with what I do. You know, some of my other great-grandfathers are well-known Druids, and that's exactly in line with what I do today. I have another great-great-great-grandmother, Anna Morgan, and this is actually a really cool story. I used to do holistic medicine as a profession, and I had this client who was, she was a seer. She could see spirits and things like that. And one day she came in, and we'd been seeing each other for a while, and she says, Dakota, you know that there's somebody who sits in that chair during every session that I come in here. And I said, no, I didn't realize that, you know. And my work was very intuitive. Like, I would just suddenly get answers and would just know what to check with somebody without even really knowing how I knew how to check that. So she kind of, you know, described this woman a little bit, and then she went on her way. And I was going through my family history, and I found this picture of my great-great-grandmother, and I just happened to bring it to my office. And I had a few pictures, actually, of different ancestors. And that same woman came in, and she saw the picture. She says, oh my God, that's her. That is her. That is who is sitting in your chair. And I said, well, that's Anna Morgan Mason. And she says, well, she's here. And as I did more research and a little bit more digging, I kind of learned, you know, back in those days, they didn't really come out and say, you know, I'm a witch, or I'm a herbalist, or anything like that. But from kind of the stories that I found about that piece of my line, would be in line with her being working with plant medicine and being a witch, basically, a white witch. And so it made total sense to me. And what was happening was, so when my client would come in, I said, I want to know everything. And she says, well, she gets up and she stands behind you, and it's like she's pointing to the book. You know, I had a book that there's a lot of codes in the book, and you have to find the code and do all these tests and etc. And that's how it was, is I would be turning pages, and all of a sudden I would see, like, boom, it was like somebody was pointing to it. And it was her pointing to what I needed to check. So our ancestors are really, they're here to help us, and they are relying on us to some extent to help heal the ancestry line. So sometimes you'll have these, whether it's a physical ailment or a psychological or a spiritual or emotional issue that you're dealing with in your life, and if you do your family history, you'll kind of learn that it was a vein that has, you know, gone on and on and on and on and on. And we have the capability of healing that in this lifetime. We have the capability of healing our family karma. You know, I have another friend who her family is really, really steeped in South Carolina. I mean, we're talking 700 years in South Carolina, and her family were slave owners. And so in this lifetime, she is extremely spiritual, extremely open, and is, you know, has her own things where society would kind of have, she's gay, so there's that, not prejudice, but you know how society is. So in this lifetime, she has the ability to fully accept herself and to extend love to all people. And in that way, she heals that family line, that family karma of being slave owners. You know, it's like we have this, and why? One, we have a responsibility to do that. Two, that our lineages kind of perpetuate themselves over and over and over, and until it gets healed, it'll just keep occurring over and over and over. And three, when we go from a conscious place and we really begin to heal that family line, you're freeing the spirits of those who might be trapped. You're healing the line for all the generations yet to come, because what happens is time collapses on itself. So when you look at, we look at time as being linear, past, present, future, but really it's all happening simultaneously. You know, what is happening in 1800 or 1232 or, 2998 and right now is all happening simultaneously at different levels. And when we start doing that healing, it instantaneously ripples through that whole timeline. So the work that we do is really important. And conversely, if we are living an unconscious life and we are doing things that may not be to the best interest of ourselves or our soul, that gets rippled out into the timeline also. And so we're affecting our own family karma by what we do. One of the things that I learned early on, growing up and up until my 20s, I had an extreme fear of water. It was just ridiculous. I just couldn't go into water. Knee deep would be okay, but beyond that, I just didn't like water. And I never knew where that fear came from. Had no idea. But I knew that my mom didn't really like water either. She didn't know how to swim, and she never wanted me to be in water. She never wanted to be in water. So one day I asked her, I said, why do you have this fear of water? I really want to understand my fear of water. And she says, well, I don't know. My mom never taught me how to swim. And I said, well, why didn't she? She says, well, she had a fear of water. I said, okay. So here's 3 generations who have this fear of water. It turns out that my grandmother actually witnessed, when she was about 5 or 6 years old, she witnessed her sister drown. And that was very traumatic. And so she never, from that point on, never went into water. And then she taught that to her daughter, and then who was my mother, and my mother taught it to me. And so likely, if I had not healed that, then I would be perpetuating that from generation to generation to generation, and I would continue to until somewhere down the line somebody decides I need to heal this family karma or this family wound. So what I did is I became a whitewater kayak guide and an ocean kayak guide, and took my fear of water and transformed it to a love of water. And so today, you can't keep me out of water. I love being in water. So we do this healing work not only for ourselves, but we do it for the generations to come and the generations that have preceded us. And our ancestors, really, they are working with us a lot of times, and many, many times. I really firmly believe that the reason I am in the work that I am is as a direct result of the ancestors on my dad's side, who were Druids. And my whole family is from Scotland and Ireland. And so when you are aware of that, you can use that wisdom, that knowledge, because it's been collected, and it's in our DNA. Seriously, literally in our DNA. And that's a very powerful gift and tool to be able to tap into. So I'm getting a little long-winded here, but it is really a fascinating subject. And I wish that more people did talk about it. And I'm really excited going into this West direction to be working with this group of mentorship students who we're going to do some really deep work with that, and really dive into it, because it's such a rich place to be. So if you have any interest in that, this is a great time to investigate the mentorship. I really, you know, I don't say that lightly, because I think that there's a lot of power in healing that right now, specifically in this time period for us, that we can change and transcend and transform so many things in this world by healing the past and healing the future. So anyway, Andy, I hope that answers your question. And if not, then join the mentorship and we will answer anything that you have about your ancestors and more. There's so much more than just the ancestors that we're going to get into. But so anyway, thanks for having coffee with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it on this fall morning. And just a quick note on that, we are going to open up enrollment to the mentorship to the general public, I believe in about 4 or 5 days. Might be sooner, I'm not sure. And also, if you are not a part of our Facebook group yet, please join. We are having so much fun over there. We are just about to wrap up a 21-day gratitude challenge that we did, and the feedback from that has been just amazing. It has literally changed people's lives, just having a focus of gratitude. And it's not your normal everyday gratitude challenge, I guarantee you. It's very different. And I think if you in fact, if any of you who are on the gratitude challenge, if you wouldn't mind, down below, will you just write, like, what are you getting from this gratitude challenge? What are you getting from being in the Gaia Facebook group? And if you're in the mentorship, please write down below, what are you getting from being in the mentorship? Because I really, I'm serious. I want to help shift this world that we're in right now. We need some serious shifting, and I need your help. So right below, and if you have any questions, just hit me up with a question. If you've got a coffee question, if you've got whatever you have, just email me. I like hearing from you guys. All right, bye guys. Hey, so stick with me for just one more minute. I've got something really exciting to tell you, that we are just now going to be opening up a private, super private Facebook group for just a very select people who are very interested in this kind of work. So what we're planning on doing is doing some light teachings that will kind of coincide with what we do in the mentorship, to give you a little taste test of each of the directions. And so for 9 weeks, out of each time that we go around the medicine wheel, we will re-embark on a new direction and give you some challenges and some fun things to do that will kind of line you up with that energy of the medicine wheel. I'll also be doing a live meditation every single week, and we call that Trance Tuesday, so you can guess what day it's going to be on. And in addition to that, we're also going to do, in August, we're going to do a 21-day gratitude challenge. I can kind of foresee that in the fall time, we're going to do a 21-day soul detox cleanse. We'll do 21 days of ritual. We're just going to do all kinds of stuff. So anyway, this is an invitation-only type Facebook group. It's a closed group. So if you want in, then go to the link below and let us know that you want in, and we will make sure that you get a personal invite. So again, go to the link below, get your personal invite, your little golden VIP card, and join us. We're actually going to be starting meditations now, so they probably, by the time you see this, have already started. So get on there and come join the community. Now, wait, before I let you go, before you hit that stop button, this group, this Facebook group I want the energy to be super high, and I want it to be really authentic, and I want people to show up. So if you're just joining the group just to have it on a tab on the sidebar, you know, it's not going to be worth your while. It's not going to be worth my while. I want people who are engaged. I want people who are really interested in learning this work. So if you know somebody also that you think would fit that, then please give them this link and let them kind of join up, or once you're in, you can invite people in as well that you want. But really, I'm very protective of my groups, so please come join us if you really feel called and led to. All right, I'll see you on Facebook or in another coffee. Bye, guys.